What's going on, YouTube? This is Chris with Journals Comics, and this is my entry for TheDoom143 and Fredeez562 200 sub contest. So just a little review of what they're expecting if you guys aren't familiar yet. So basically, they both hit 200 subs at around the same time. Definitely congrats to those two. I think obviously they're way above it and they're going to keep climbing. I think they're both at like 270 something now. So they both hit 200 around the same time and they've been climbing around the same, at the same pace, which is awesome because it's been a good climb. So two awesome YouTubers, and this is a really unique and fun contest. So I definitely recommend you guys enter. I'm going to leave links to both of them under this video. And just to kind of go into what they're expecting, you got to be 18 and older, and definitely subscribe to both of them. And as I'm doing, definitely leave some links in the bottom of your video if you make a contest entry. So there were some questions for both of them. So what you guys want to do if you want to enter is go to both of their pages and watch each of their contest videos and how to enter. And they both give their own questions that you're going to have to follow. So let's go ahead and start. And I'm going to start with the Doom143's question. And it's mainly just one thing that we have to do here. And it's pick one of your favorite artists, talk about them and what they mean to you and why you like them, and show off at least 5 of their books. Now, before I go into who I'm showing off here, I'm going to say there's multiple artists I could have picked. One of them is Jim Lee. And what he meant to me as an artist growing up, being an artist myself and copying a lot of his work, from some of the Superman stuff he did, from the X-Men run that he did, going even into the Image stuff that he did. Really inspiration for me, as well as Todd McFarlane. And I know those are kind of cliche for us who grew up in the 80s and 90s, but what I did here and who I picked was Alex Ross, specifically for cover art. I could have went into, even some other classics like, John Romita, who is still hands down my favorite Spider-Man artist. But I wanted to focus on something a little different. Being an artist and being that I love covers, like a lot of books I buy just because the cover looks good. And this man, Alex Ross, what he does in his art, and it's so unique, and he is definitely in a league of his own. And I wanted to pick him for this contest. So let's go into a few covers here. To my knowledge, he uses water-based colors, or watercolor paints to do his work. And it's just the detail and the lifelike contrast that he captures is just beyond words. And I really can say I know some people have tried to duplicate kind of his style. Nobody comes close in my book, in my opinion. What he does, he is in a league of his own. I mean, you have artists like John Romita or Jim Lee and Todd McFarlane who, are in a league of their own in their own rights. And you have all these artists that got inspired by them. And they've inspired a lot of good artists that kind of took what they do. And don't get me wrong, every artist is still unique. But they have so many similarities. You look at Eric Larson taking over runs from Todd McFarlane. And you could tell that his art was definitely heavily influenced by Todd's art. But the point I'm trying to make is that no matter how influenced you are by Alex Ross's art, I don't think anyone came close. If anyone disagrees with me, let me know. The colors that he uses, how it just pops off of the pages. Very, very much three-dimensional in the depth of his detail in shading and shadowing. Especially this one. I mean, it's like you can just reach in the covers and, touch it. I mean, look at this detail in the colors. I mean, it's just unbelievable. As much as I was kind of disappointed with the new volume of the Amazing Spider-Man, one thing that has just been on point is obviously Alex Ross doing the covers. The story's getting a little better, but I mean, look at this. I mean, just the action, like the live action that he captures too. I mean, every bit. I mean, there's not one thing that I can pick out to say, well, he needs to do this better, or, you know, this is kind of a weak point, or, I mean, every aspect of his art is beyond great. His Kirby Genesis work is just like unbelievable. I mean, look at this. Like, again, you take in the detail, but then you take in like the action within it. I mean, this is a still photo, a still art piece. Nothing's moving, but yet you get that, in the intensity is so much there that it's like it's happening right in front of you. And then the colors, how he uses the colors coming out of it. It's just, like I said, nothing like it. Nothing really like it at all. Here's another one. I mean, just even trying to describe it, you know, like I said, it's hard to put it all into words sometimes. It's just beyond it. And I wanted to show a couple more here. I know we only said 5, but I had a few more, so I got my Earth X here. Let's show this off real quick. Beautiful. Just beautiful. And then the universe. Here we go. Amazing. All right, guys. That's my pick. Alex Ross. Amazing stuff. All right. Fredeez562. Going into his question. 2 questions, actually. I'm going to go with this one first. He asked, do we prefer slabbed or not slabbed? Well, let me tell you guys, I'm an old man. Well, I'm not that old. But I've been doing this for, what year is it? 30, what has it been? 30 years about since I got my first Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle comics when I was at the grocery store, sitting in the cart with my mom. And I showed that book off. I still have the original book. So, you know, about 29, 30 years into it here. And I did not get my first slab book until a couple months ago when I won a contest for Denver Ninja Gaming. And obviously the huge Spider-Man fan I am, it was awesome to win this book. So, to answer the question, I prefer not slabbed. Because it never... Slabbing books is a new thing to me over probably like the last 10 years, me even knowing what they are. And I don't have the desire. I like to keep my books in, you know, order in their runs. I like to read my books. I like to open them up and look at them, obviously. But here's the appeal. I get it. I get the appeal of displaying them, and I've seen some amazing displays. Fredeez has awesome ones on display, and I love how they look on display. But here's the thing about my displays. I will go out and buy some posters or some framed stuff that, you know, even like for the cover art, you know, I'll go off and do that because it's cheaper. I mean, to be honest, it's cheaper. Like, you know, these books right here are, you know, like some well, you know, some of them, like the Amazing Spider-Man 122. That's a key issue that's going to cost you some money, and especially to get a slab, you can get a dollar book and get a slab, and it costs you what, $50+ I don't know because I never done it. But what I'm trying to say is, if I want to display stuff, I do it on a budget I'm not going to spend a lot of money to display anything. I'll just get some posters, some plaques, and display some cool artwork or some cool cover prints. So yeah, I mean, I'm not knocking it, at all, but it's never been my thing. I do like how it's like it certifies the grade. Like, let me give you an example. If it cost like a couple bucks to actually just grade your books, and say if you had Silver Age or some just key issues and you just wanted them graded, and you could pay a couple bucks for it, I would be really into that. And I would keep the certificate like in the back of the bag and board, just so I have it for my record. If I ever wanted to sell them, it's there. It's actually graded, next to spending such a large amount of money to put it in a container and contain it where you can never even take it out. It doesn't really have the appeal for me, but I get it. There's pros and cons about it. I think for me and the way I collect, it leans a little more to the cons. So, now, in the second question he asks is, what is the hardest book you'd ever had to look for? Okay. And he did say, if you don't have the book and you're still looking for it, talk about it. And that's what I'm going to talk about. It is this guy right here, Captain America number 100. That is my number one. But we'll see. Here's the thing. I mean, obviously, my number one book would probably be like, Amazing Fantasy number 15. That's never going to happen, unless I hit the jackpot. But in terms of what's really in my means, in my main key book that I know one day I will be able to get, it's Captain America 100. The reason why it's been hard for me is because I haven't really found it in any stores, and I would have to get it probably off online, and it's hard to find. I being on a budget, you have to kind of look for lower grades. I have bid over the last probably 2 years. I probably bid on anywhere from a half dozen to a dozen of these books, and I've lost on all of them, because either two things will happen. There'll be a lower grade, and they'll be sitting around maybe like 50 bucks up until the last couple of minutes though, and then they shoot up still. It passed to a point, and I said, well, there goes my my bar that I can't cross in terms of cost. So that happens. Or the last minute stuff, you're right in the hunt, but the way eBay works is other people are bidding right there in the last minute, and you just get outbid. So that's my hardest book. My Captain America run is so close. I mean, I don't even know. I might just need like 20 more books between numbers like I would say 120 to 400 and something, and I'm still missing the first from 100 to 120. I have a few holes. So to have such a large collection of it so far, yeah, that book is definitely going to be one that I'm going to need to add at some point, and that I'm constantly on the lookout for. And for me right now, the way I'm collecting, it's not necessarily about grade. If for Silver Age or key books like this, if I can find one that I can afford, I'm going to be happy. If I'm going to find something that I can afford to fill a hole in my run, I'm going to be happy. And then, hey, if I have more money later down the line, I want to spend more money, then sell the lower grade and get the new one. So that's that, guys. That is my book. It will be in my possession at some point. All right, guys. Fredeez and Doom, thank you so much for having this contest. Amazing prizes, guys. So if you have not checked them out, sub them, and do a video for this contest, because the prizes are just amazing as well. So thank you guys again. Thank you everyone for watching. Please subscribe to my channel if you have not. Check out some other videos if you enjoyed this. And like I said, do not, before you click off this channel, before you click that like button on this channel, well, maybe you can click the like button and then go hit the link. But whatever you do before you log off of YouTube, go check out TheDoom143, Fredeez562. Give them a sub, enter their contest. And other than that, thank you guys for watching. Have a great weekend, And until next time.